Hello students, in this lecture number 2 for the unit number 2 we will study about linear actuators and their applications. In previous lectures we already studied about the basics of linear actuator. So this diagram will show you in various methods of applying linear motion using hydraulic cylinder. So you can see that we can have a vertical motion as well as horizontal motion as well as on motion along inclined line. So let's consider numerical. In this numerical we need to find out that there is a 10,000 Newton weight to be lowered by a vertical cylinder as shown in the figure. The cylinder has a 75 mm diameter piston and 50 mm diameter rod. The weight is deaccelerated from 100 meter per minute to stop in 0.5 seconds. Determine the required pressure in the rod end side of the cylinder during the deacceleration motion. So here we know what is the cylinder dimension. So first we need to find out what is the deacceleration. That is deacceleration value A will be given by V divided by T, that is time. So we converted this velocity value which is given 100 meter per minute getting converted into meter per second, that is 1.67 divided by 0.5, that will give us a deacceleration value. And as we know what is the Newton's second law of motion, that is F is equal to ma. Using that second law of motion, F will be given by pressure multiplied by the effective area minus weight which need to be lifted is equal to mass of that weight multiplied by the deacceleration value. So P, that is nothing but the pressure at the rod end side of the area piston multiplied by the effective area. In this particular case the effective area will be rod end side area, since we need to find out what is the pressure at the rod end side of the area of the piston. So here these values are put, then we come to know that P is equal to 545 into 10 raised to 4 Pascal, that is 5450 kilopascal. Similarly, in this particular numerical we need to find out what is the diameter of this particular actuator, when we know that it has to lift the block along a inclined surface of 30 degree. The weight of a block is given, that is 27,000 Newton. Okay, first we need to find out the required dimension for which we don't consider acceleration of this block. In second case we need to consider the acceleration of this block. So let us consider the free body diagram for the block. Its weight W is resolved in two components, W cos theta along a vertical plane and W sin theta along a horizontal line. Now this particular W sin theta will directly act on the piston, that you must remember. So let us consider the solution. So to find out the force which is required or to find out the dimension of the cylinder, first we know what is the force which is required to be handled by that particular cylinder. Since we know that what is the pressure value for that cylinder, that is given, so naturally if we know the force we can definitely find the area. So to calculate the force on the cylinder, first you need to consider that how much amount of frictional force is there, and plus the cylinder the force which is acting on the cylinder, that is on the horizontal line, that is W sin theta is considered. So definitely in the first case, that when we don't consider any acceleration value, we just need to sum up these two forces, that is W sin theta plus W cos theta multiplied by coefficient of friction. So that value comes around 17,007 Newton. We know the pressure, so we can find out the dimension, that is D for the actuator. Now in second case we are considering acceleration from 0 mm per second to 0.1524 mm per second in 0.5 seconds. That means we know what is the acceleration value. So Newton's second law of motion says summation of all forces is equal to mass into acceleration. So acceleration value is known to you. Now summation of force will be given by P into AP, that is area of piston, multiplied by the pressure in the piston area, minus 17,007 Newton. Now why this is considered as minus? Because that particular force is acting against the force which is acted by the cylinder. So this 17,007 Newton we just calculated here, that is acting in a reverse manner. That is why it is taken as minus, is equal to mass into acceleration. So that will give you, since you know the pressure value, okay, so you can easily find out the required diameter. So what you observe here is that when you consider the deceleration or acceleration value for that particular block, the required area or the actuator specification or hydraulic cylinder specification diameter increases. In previous case it is 56 mm, in this case it increases to 68.5 mm. Now consider this another numerical. In this numerical you can find out that a mass of 2000 kg is to be accelerated horizontally up to a velocity of 1 meter per second from the rest over a distance of 50 mm. That is, distance travelled is given and initial and final velocities are given. The coefficient of friction between the load and the guide is 0.15. Calculate the bore of a cylinder required to accelerate this load if the maximum allowable pressure at the full bore end of the cylinder is 100 bar and it is reduced by 5 bar because of the pressure drop, assuming the back pressure at the annulus end of the cylinder is 0. So let's consider this application. So in this application we know what is the final velocity, what is initial velocity, what is the distance in which we need to achieve the final velocity. So naturally by using third equation of motion we can find out what is the acceleration, that comes around 10 meter per second square. So F is equal to mass into acceleration. So mass is given by 2000 into 9.81 divided by 9.81 into 10. So this will give us a total force which is comes around 20,000 Newton for the block. Now we know we need to find out what is the frictional force. So this is the inertia force, 20,000 Newton is nothing but the inertia force, plus frictional force is nu into W. Now what is W? W is 2000 into 9.81 multiplied by 0.15. So this F plus P will give us a total force which need to be overcome. So the effective pressure is 95 bar since there are 5 bar losses. Okay, so we know what is the pressure. So if you multiply this pressure by area, then you will get the force which is required. So but force value is known to us. Okay, so definitely and pressure is known to us, we can get the area. So we get the area as 2415 millimeter square, and you multiply to achieve this area we get the cylinder dimension as pi by 4 d square. So that you will get 55.4 mm as the final dimension. Now let us consider about another arrangement for the hydraulic cylinder, which is called as a cushioning, which is very important. For prevention of a shock due to stopping of the loads at the end of the piston stroke, cushioning devices are used. Cushion may be applied at either end of or at the both end of the actuator. They operate on a principle that as the cylinder piston approaches the end of the stroke, an exhaust fluid is forced to go through the adjustable needle valve that is set to control the escaping fluid at the given rate. This allows the deceleration characteristics to be adjusted for different loads. When the cylinder piston is actuated, the fluid enters the cylinder port and flows through the little check valve so that the entire piston area can be utilized to produce a force and a motion. Okay, So let us consider, or let us understand what exactly this means. This means that when this particular piston approaches towards its end, so here you find that there is a check valve, okay, non-return type of a valve is there, and this is a flow control, metered flow control. That means the fluid which is going out of this actuator has to force through a metered flow. So since we control the discharge of a fluid which is coming out of the cylinder, we can control the velocity of this piston. So why it will give us an advantage, that this will avoid overrunning of the load. That if the load is acting vertically downward, then because of the inertia forces, this particular piston plunger will bump on this particular piston cylinder wall. So that will cause a damage to cylinder, and to avoid this damage, we have a cushioning arrangement. So this particular diagram will show you how exactly the cushioning effect is obtained. Okay, you can see that this is a metered flow. When this plunger comes at the end of the stroke, we find that it closes the free motion of the fluid which is going out of this actuator, and because of which this particular fluid which is trapped at this rod end side has to move through a metered pass to get out of the actuator. So because of which you will find that there is a deacceleration of this piston as well as this plunger is achieved, and that way, by that way the bumping of the piston on the cylinder valve is avoided. This is called as a cushioning effect. Now this is the numerical which is self-explanatory, and which explain what is the need of a cushioning. So I'll not go much detail into this, because since we already discussed 3 numericals in this class, the major point in this particular numerical is to consider the cushioning effect. So the solution is given to you. So wherever you feel any problem, you can contact me, or we'll discuss this particular numerical in detail in our live sessions. So thank you. And one more point is remaining, that is cylinder mounting. So there are different types of mounting by which the cylinder is installed on a hydraulic machine. So foot mounting, where you this is a diagram for a foot mounting. Then rod flange mounting, rear flange mounting. This is a trunnion mounting, which is usually used in hydraulic machines when mobile application is there or cylinder rotates along a vertical plane. And clavis mounting. Now why these different types of mountings are covered? So these different types of mounting will restrict different degrees of freedom for a cylinder to move during a application, and because of which we obtain certain motion or certain linear output for that particular linear actuator. Okay, so so these are different types of mountings which are there for hydraulic cylinder, and a question may be asked on representing all these mountings diagrammatically. So this is for your reference. These are the notes of fluid power from IIT Madras, from where the most of the part of this presentation is taken. Thank you.